Welcome to the Author Your Life podcast, where you can write a new script for your life and become the hero of your story. I'm your host, David McRae. You are the author of your life. Let's get started.
All you have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to you.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
It is not our abilities that show what we truly are. It is our choices.
Hello, Story Changer, and welcome back to the Author Your Life podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be presenting a piece of training that comes from my upcoming book, Author Your Life, Become the Hero of Your Story. In the weeks leading up to the book's release, and indeed in the weeks just after the book's release, I'm going to be delivering pieces of training that come from the book. So this might be a concept, it might be a strategy, a habit, a tool, a technique that's geared around making a significant change to a key portion of your life. You can enjoy a number of these trainings throughout the weeks and months to come, all coming from my brand new book, which is available for pre-order right now on Amazon. So if you enjoy this training and you think the rest of the book will be equally as useful to you, then make sure you head over to Amazon and pre-order your copy so you get it as soon as it's released. But whilst you're waiting, I'll leave you to enjoy this piece of training that comes from the book. Hello, Story Changers, and welcome back to another episode of Author Your Life. Today I want to talk about how you can have fun with the fundamentals. Now, what are the fundamentals? Fundamentals are your basic foundational habits, practices, and principles that allow you to do the things that you want to do, to be the person that you want to be. And it's so important to get these foundations in place. If you want to look at how high somebody is going to build a building, you look at how deep they are digging the foundations first. You need to dig deep foundations, and then that gives you the stability and purchase to then rise and ascend to the heights that you want to get to. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, well, what are your fundamentals? And what type of fundamentals do you want to be putting in place for yourself? And when we're talking about fundamentals, there's two main areas to consider. So the first area are your general fundamentals. And these are fundamentals that we all need as humans in order to be able to grow and progress and be happy and fulfilled in life. And you can remember these general fundamentals through the acronym PIES. PIES: physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. And if you're a bit uncomfortable with that last one, spiritual, you can use the one social instead. So physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual social. This is PIES, and this is what we all need as humans to be able to grow and thrive. We need to look after our physical health, eating good food, drinking lots of water, getting enough sleep. We need to look after our intellectual health, reading, learning, problem solving, growing and expanding our mind. We need to look after our emotional health. So these are things like meditation, living in gratitude, lowering levels of unnecessary stress in our lives. And then finally, we've got the spiritual or social domain, which is all about connecting with things larger than us. It's all about spending time with the people who we love, spending time in nature, feeling a greater sense of purpose and connection in the world. These are our general fundamentals that we all need to have. Now, the second category is specific fundamentals. So whilst we all need this general foundation, for what you want to do in life with your dreams and aspirations and desires, there are going to be certain principles that you need to follow, certain practices that you need to perform on a consistent basis to get to where you want to get to. And if you look at any of the masters, any of the geniuses that we put up on a pedestal, any of your role models and leaders that you look up to, they have had specific fundamentals that they have done over and over and over again to help them to get to where they want to be. So if you look at someone like Kobe Bryant, who is the NBA's third highest scorer of all time, Kobe Bryant, in every single training session when he was a basketball player, wouldn't leave until he completed 400 shots. 400 shots. He did that every single training lesson because he knew that that was absolutely key to help him to be a great basketball player, to help his team win all the successes that they ultimately did during his career. That was something he needed to focus on. Alternatively, you might look at someone like the Dalai Lama. Now, the Dalai Lama meditates for at least 2 hours every single day because that's his specific fundamental to help him to release from suffering, to detach from material possessions in order to reach a state of enlightenment. And ultimately, actually, in terms of all the things that he does in the world, that also helps him to go out and do all his talks and do all his seminars and his conferences and meet all the world leaders that he does. That is his specific fundamental that helps him do the things that he wants to do. So these are things that you need to develop in your life. You need to have your general fundamentals. These are the things that we all need, looking after your physical, intellectual, emotional, and social spiritual health. But you also need your specific fundamentals. So what is it that you're looking to do? If you want to be an author, then one of your specific fundamentals is you need to be writing on a consistent basis. If you want to be a musician, then one of your specific fundamentals is to be playing your instrument on a consistent basis. If you want to be a web designer, then one of your specific fundamentals is to be learning code on a consistent basis. Whatever you want to do in life, you need these foundations. If you want to really rise and ascend to where you want to be, then these foundations need to be deep. You need to have these fundamentals working for you on a consistent daily basis. And ultimately what you start to recognize is when you have these fundamentals in play, is that you start to actually enjoy doing them and there's fun and aliveness that comes from it. You have your morning workout, you have your morning meditation, you go and do your creative writing for an hour, or you go do your web design for an hour, and you start to find fun and enjoyment in the process of saying, yes, I feel physically nourished, intellectually stimulated, emotionally stable, and socially fulfilled. And today I'm going out and I'm doing my creative stuff, I'm practicing, I'm honing my skill, I'm honing my craft, I'm getting better and better at what I'm doing. You start to have fun with these fundamentals. And that's really what it's all about, because if this is going to be a long, sustained journey for you, then you need to have fun along the way. So these are the things that you need to bring in. You need to make sure you've got your general fundamentals in place, and then what are your specific fundamentals? What do you need to do to get better at the things that you want to do? What do you need to do to become the person that you want to be? So folks, I hope you've enjoyed this look at fundamentals today. I hope that you've taken something from it and perhaps there's a new fundamental that you bring into your life. I look forward to speaking to you in our next episode of Author Your Life. But until then, remember that you are the author of your life. You hold the pen and you can write whatever script you want for yourself. I'd like to tell you about my book, Author Your Life, Become the Hero of Your Story. This is a book for people who are at a crossroads in life and want to make a fresh start. Judging by the fact that you're listening to this podcast, I suspect that you may well be one of those people. This book is going to help you to change your narrative and rewrite the scripts in life that are holding you back. This book covers the latest science and research showing you how to become the person you want to be and live the life that you want to live. I'd like to invite you to get this book not only because I feel it's a great book that's going to help you, but also it's going to support the podcast as well. I love podcasts, but sometimes all of those ads that you get can be really irrelevant and annoying when you just want to listen to a good piece of training or a good interview. So I therefore made the decision with my podcasts that number one, I wanted my podcast to be free so that everyone could listen to it. And number two, that I wasn't going to fund it through all these annoying and irrelevant adverts and commercials. Therefore, if you want to support the podcast and support all the things that I put out there for free, whether it be here on the podcast, my YouTube channel, other areas on social media, then buying a book is going to enable and help that process. So this is what we call a win-win scenario. By buying the book, you help to support my work and all the free stuff that I put out there, and you also get a really transformational book that's going to help you make those changes that you really want in your life. So if you feel you're someone who's at that crossroads in life, you're looking for new direction, you're looking for a fresh start, then make sure you get this book. Author Your Life, Become the Hero of Your Story is available on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and audiobook. Whatever your preferred medium, it's there for you to go get right now. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd appreciate it hugely if you could head over to iTunes and leave a rating and review for the podcast. With your review, please be as honest and detailed as you can be. Because with honest and detailed feedback, that helps me to adapt and grow this podcast to most serve you, the listener. Also, if you enjoyed this episode, then make sure you subscribe to the podcast. That way you aren't going to miss any of the future episodes that we've got lined up for you. Until next time, remember that you are the author of your life. You hold the pen, and you can write whatever script you want for yourself. So go out today and write yourself a beautiful story.